Lying in the jungle, drinking his water.
Hopefully this thing works today, right?
Because of those enemies. Lying in the jungle, drinking his water. But I keep my eyes because of those enemies.
All right, hopefully you guys can comment today.
I had to watch my pride, learning from my mother's teaching.
Well, one person jumped on and then they jumped off. Stupid thing keeps sinking. All right, I'm just going to get right into it. Hopefully it'll work. So the YouTube video is actually 18 and over, otherwise people can't comment. So you probably have to log in. So just, hey, we got a comment. Yay, Charles, what's up, brother? All right, cool. So you guys can comment. We're in business. All right, sweet. All right, so hello. Welcome to Pint Time with Backpacker Mike, episode 108. Now, my chair stayed up the whole time during Instagram. Today's episode is the top 10 types of tourism, and some of them you may not even know about. Some of them I didn't know about either. And then it turns out that I actually did, hey Kathy, I actually did a fair amount of this tourism and I didn't even think about it. I didn't even know about it. Before I get started, special shout out to the Rudians, R-U-D-A-I-N-S, or I-A-N-S. Search them on YouTube, search A Lion in the Jungle, Rudians Lion in the Jungle. You will find them. Give them a like, follow, subscribe, and a share, and leave them a comment. Tell them Backpacker Mike sent you. Hey, Kim, you made it on. Sweet. So you guys share the live with everybody, friends, family, whatever. Just know that if they click on the link, they're going to have to sign in to their YouTube channel because it's 18 and over. Otherwise, you guys wouldn't be able to comment, which is silly. But that's the way it is. So up here today on the video I'm playing behind me here is 3 episodes I shot while in Kamala Beach, Thailand. So if you're interested in that, give it a check. It's right here on my YouTube channel. Give it a check. Yeah, chat's working. What's up, Brian? All right, so to give you guys a recap, over on Instagram's live, I tried 2 different stout beers, peanut butter stouts. I tried one from Left Hand Brewing Company here in the United States. Left Hand has a lot of good beers. This one was okay. It was pretty good, but compared to Lexington Brewing Company, it didn't muster. But this is Left Hand Peanut Butter Milk Stout Nitro. It was a nitro. It didn't really have that much of a beer head on it, so I'm wondering if it might have been blowing and I just didn't know. It still tasted good. The flavor wasn't too bad. It just didn't have that sort of body, that foamy body that I expected from, a nitro. So I ended up giving it an 8 because the flavor was there. The flavor was pretty good. The next one, well, the first one I tried was Lexington Brewing Company's Kentucky Peanut Butter Stout. This was amazing. The nose was amazing. Still smells like peanut butter right now, like Reese's Cup. It was very good. It tasted like peanut butter and chocolate. Basically, it was on point. I gave it a 10. For the Lexington Brewing Company. Now, I will say, you pay for the good stuff. So, the Lexington Brewing Company, these come in a 4-pack, and they're about $13.99 to $14.99, depends on where you get them at, for a 4-pack. So, like, when it comes to the craft brews and stuff and buying them, sometimes I look, it's like a 6-pack for like $12, and I think, man, that's crazy, $12 for a 6-pack. And then I think, well, okay, that's like $2 a beer. If I were to go to a pub or a bar or a restaurant and get that same craft beer, they're going to be charging me $5, $6, $7 for it. So it's in the grand scheme of things, it's not that bad to spend 12 or 15 bucks on a 6-pack of craft beer. So, I tried those 2 beers. I'm going to show you guys what I'm going to try for you guys here on YouTube, which is interesting to say still. I am actually kind of excited to be on YouTube. I know that, you know, we don't get a whole lot of people on here quite yet, but hopefully it will grow. I won't be able to go back on Facebook for probably another 30 days or so, 35 days. But honestly, I don't know if I'm going to go back to Facebook or not. We'll see. If I go back to Facebook, then I can't do 3 shows. And I know that I've had some of you come to me and say, hey, you can download one of those apps or whatever that allows you to go live on many different platforms at the same time. The only problem that I have found looking into those is that I can't go on a specific page. So like if say for instance on Facebook, I run like 5 pages or more on Facebook, plus my own personal page. So if I go live on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, it's going to pick my personal Facebook page and not my Backpacker Mike page. So you can find that option for the right amount of money. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We'll see what transpires. But I don't know. So far, I'm sort of liking YouTube, and eventually I will get the panoramic or the widescreen version as opposed to this version, because I know when you guys watch it on your TV, you get this and black spots on either side. So eventually, hopefully, I'll be able to fix that. But right now, if I turn it, excuse me, I have to blow my nose here in a minute. I gotta change the set a little bit. Hey, cuz, you're on. Alright, so here on YouTube, I will be trying for you guys some pretty cool craft beers, including one from my sponsor, Mad Brews. So I'll get to that right away. My sponsor, Mad Brews, is on right now. I have this Trappisted at the monastery, a Mad Brews Double. This is 7.6 on the Richter scale. So there you have it. And of course it has to have the cheery old monk with his beer. 7.6 on the Richter scale. If you are new to the show, the Richter scale is the ABV, alcohol by volume. The next one I have to try for you guys on YouTube is the Chocolate Cream Cookie Stout by O'Fallon Brewery. It is 5.7% on the Richter scale. Chocolate Cream Cookie Stout. I am hoping that this really tastes like chocolate cream cookies. And they are out of St. Louis County, Maryland Heights, Missouri. O'Fallon Brewery. A little bit of Irish going on there with the O'Fallon Brewery. Mad Brews in the house. The last and final one I have to try for you guys on YouTube today is another Left Hand Brewing Company. I love Left Hand Brewing Company. They are pretty good. This is me eating a meal in Kamala Beach, Thailand, at the restaurant I ate at almost every night. I would go to that restaurant for dinner. Left Hand Brewing Company, S'mores Milk Stout. S'mores Milk Stout. Now I'm really hoping that this tastes like s'mores. I'm really hoping. It says it's a stout with cacao and toasted marshmallow flavor added. So they added it at the end, so therefore it should be pretty strong. Notes of chocolate layered with toasted marshmallow flavor and graham cracker inspired malt. So Mad Brews, what kind of malt would you use to create a graham cracker flavor? That is the question for Mad Brews, my sponsors today. One of my sponsors. All right. Okay. What? All right, so 20-second delay. Well, I don't know what it is on YouTube, actually. Might be 60 seconds. I don't know. But you guys pick. So this is a tradition if you're new to YouTube, since this is only like the second YouTube show. I have you guys pick the first beer that I try. I try all three of them up front, and I score them. So that way, if you are into the beers, then you'll get all of that up front. If you're into the beers and travel, then you can watch the whole thing. If you're into the travel and not the beers, then just hit the little scroll bar there. It goes past the beers and get to the travel part. The 10 types of tourism, some of them you may not know about. All right, let's see who picked what. Chocolate cream. All right, chocolate cream. Cuz picks chocolate cream. She's the first one, I believe. Yep. Brian says honey, cookie, and biscuit malt. Honey, cookie, and biscuit malt to get a graham cracker. Oh, okay. I didn't realize they had honey, cookie, and biscuit malt. That's interesting. All right, so cookies and cream first. Then I will try, or chocolate cream cookie stout, whatever. And then I will try the other two and give you a score. Well, I'll tell you what, you guys pick which one I try second as well. That way, I'll have two down because I've only got 2 mugs. So you guys pick the second one as well. Left hand, s'more, milk stout s'mores, or Mad Brews. Should I save Mad Brews for last? Should I save the best for last? Oh, I'm just kidding. Maybe not. I don't know. All right, guys, let's give this one a try. The nose doesn't give much out of the can, to be honest with you guys. Oh, that was how. So when you get your laundry done in Thailand, it's super cheap. It's super cheap, but this is how you get it back. Folded, pressed, nice and neat in a bag. And you know how much? That was like a load of laundry that they literally fit in that bag. I think it cost me like $2.50 to have them wash, fold, and press my clothes in Kamala Beach, Thailand. Pretty nuts. Yeah, I think it was like $2.50. They charge you per kilo or something like that. S'mores next. All right, s'mores it is. Who picks s'mores? Kim picks s'mores. Kim picked s'mores and Brian picked Mad Brews. Sorry, Brian, she beat you out. So we'll save the best for last. Mad Brews, the best for last. All right, let's give this O'Fallon Brewery a chocolate cream cookie stout. Like I said, there's not much on the nose, so we'll see what happens. Cheers, Prost, Slancha, and Skål for my Nordic friends, if and when they ever pop on. I gotta say, I'm a bit disappointed. I mean, it tastes It tastes good. It has a bit of an odd sort of flavor than what I expected, but it tastes good. It just honestly doesn't taste anything like chocolate cream cookie stout. I'm not tasting cookie at all. I get a bit of a I get the chocolate. I can kind of taste the lactose, a bit creamy, etc. Hey, the comments are just like staying up there. Yeah, I mean, let's do a hard pour and see what happens. I mean, it gets see the beer head on this versus what I got if you were on Instagram versus what I got off of the left-hand one. That's why I feel like the left-hand one might have been blown. But yeah, the nose gives nothing like. I don't get any sweet like cookie chocolate. And I get this weird sort of like sour flavor in the back of my palate when I drink it. It's like a yeah, I don't really like that. Like it should just be creamy, semi-sweet, smooth. No sourness, no. It's almost like they brewed it with sour milk. I mean, well, I don't want to say that because that sounds a little too harsh. It's not a horrible tasting beer. But you guys know me when I score the beers. Like whatever is on the label has to be in the can to start. Basic. So if you're gonna blast chocolate cream cookie stout on here, then it should be at least semi-sweet, yummy. Like I literally just dunked a cream cookie or chocolate cookie, cream cookie in a glass of milk and drank it. I mean, that's just the way it should be. But Thomas and Pims. Let's see. I gotta think of a. Oh, you guys shout out a playlist, beach playlist, country play, whatever. See if I can't find something. I need to create a playlist so I can just like an hour long, 2 hour long playlist and just let it go. Ugh. That's the Beach of Kamla. Yeah, Kim, exactly. Well, crap. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a little bit better out of the can. I don't know. 6 of one, half dozen the other. I mean, it's mediocre. Not what I expected, to be honest with you guys. I'm sure O'Fallon Brewery has many other great beers. This just did not represent necessarily what was on the can. It's not a bad tasting beer. It's not horrible by any means. So no like low score, so to speak. But no super low score. I don't know. You know, anything above a 5 is try it and see what you think of it. So I'm just gonna give O'Fallon's chocolate cream cookie stout a 6. A 6. Just not what I expected, and it doesn't represent what's on the can. If it was a really crappy tasting beer, then they would have been like around the 2 range. But not bad. I mean, not what is represented on the can, but the flavor of the beer is not too bad. All right, let's try Left Hand Brewing Company's S'mores Milk Stout. S'mores Milk Stout. Oh man, the smoothie I had at Colonial Beach was so good. It was like a kiwi banana smoothie. Fresh. Again, not much on the nose that I can smell. Did anybody throw out any playlists? 82 degrees here today. Beach. Sharon says beach. Beach. Ambiance music. Tropical beach ambiance island, Thailand. Ocean sounds, relaxation. Thailand. Let's see what this is about. Campfire by the sea ambiance. Yeah. I want some music. Hawaiian sunset. Beach music, Brazilian. Sleeping. Hey, I wonder if I can do island reggae music. Maybe.
Stuff. Love stuff. There's some really great stuff out there. But I doubt that any of them.
Yeah, wind's kicking. Hopefully this one doesn't get me. And it's perfect because island beach music, and that's me in the ocean there at Conwell Beach. All right, let's give this one a try. Left Hand Stout, S'mores Milk Stout. Man. See, I think this is the problem. When you try to do something like a s'mores beer, you have so many complex flavors that go into that beer. Like, you know, Mad Brews was mentioning you gotta use like 3 different sorts of grain. But it tastes nothing like s'mores. I ain't gonna lie. I cannot tell a lie. It tastes nothing like s'mores. It just tastes like a chocolate stout. And that's it. Let's do a hard pour and see if anything new comes of it. Man, gets a nice, you know, beer head on there. Got it in my Mad Brews tap puller cup, or as I affectionately call it, my left hand tap puller cup. Yeah, see, there's not. Maybe on the nose, like ever so slightly, I get chocolate and maybe graham cracker, but disappointed, honestly. I thought these ones were gonna rock it. Yeah, that tastes nothing like s'mores, so nothing at all. It just tastes like a chocolate milk stout, and that's about it. Bummer deal. So Left Hand, I'm sorry, man. It says s'more. S'mores isn't even on isn't even in the equation. It's not even in the equation. Not even close, unfortunately. Yeah. It doesn't taste bad. It's not a completely crappy beer. It's just labeled wrong. They should just label this chocolate milk stout and done. It'd be great. So if you like chocolate milk stouts, then grab yourself a chocolate milk stout. But other than that, I don't get toasted marshmallow. I don't get any graham cracker. No like cinnamon, no honey, no nutmeg, everything that goes into a graham cracker. I don't get any of those notes at all, even if I got like a hint of those notes. But yeah, I'm not impressed. I'm a bit disappointed actually. So I'll give it the same as the chocolate cream cookie stout because it probably matches up to that one. So 6 Left Hand Brewing Company. Hey, Mad Brews, man, I hope you guys come through for me on this Tapist. Because right now, like, Lexington Peanut Butter Stout is, like, the best one going. The other three have been kind of, That's what happens when a left-handed person designs the mug. You get what you pay for. I know, that's a funny story. I really love my left-handed tap puller cup from Mad Brews. I really do. Well, mug. It was just funny because I messaged Brian and I said, "Hey man, you made a left-hand cup for me." No, actually, Brian, correct me if I'm wrong. I think the first message I sent was, "Who's left-handed, you or Beth?" And he was like, "Was it you, Brian?" And he said, I said, "Because whoever that was designed the mug." We said it's a solid Trappist. All right, it's a solid trap. I'll take solid. Today, I'll take solid. It'll be like you guys and Lexington. Imagine a monk on a lawnmower. We say it's monk lawnmower beer. But the monks were initially known for their mead. And if it's hot outside and I'm mowing, I would rather have mead than stout. Yeah, even on the hard porter, guys, it's chocolate milk stout. That's it, chocolate milk stout. If Left Hand labeled that chocolate milk stout, they would have nailed it. But because they labeled it s'mores, no good, man, no good. All right. I suppose I will finish my not so cream cookie stout. And once I get a mug free, then I'll go into my Mad Brews. All right, guys, let's get started on this show because I'm like way behind trying these couple beers here. I apologize. Episode 108, 10 types of tourism. Some of you may not know about. Number 10, sports tourism. I think everybody has done some sort of sports tourism at some point in time. I have done it a few times. I've attended the NFL Pro Bowl game, which was on my bucket list. The Pro Bowl game and the Super Bowl have always been on my bucket list. The Pro Bowl game was a little bit more affordable than the Super Bowl. If you're outside the United States and you want to come see the Super Bowl, be prepared to spend about $5 or $6 grand for a nosebleed seat. Now, unless I get my own travel show and I'm making 6 figures a year doing my travel show, I will probably never see the Super Bowl. Or if I happen to become friends with somebody who is very influential and can get Super Bowl tickets, then I may go see it. But other than that, unfortunately, that's one bucket list item because they've made it so expensive to go to that I probably won't be able to tick off. But sports tourism is either attending or participating in sporting events. It is one of the fastest growing sectors and is an almost $8 billion industry. $8 billion industry. Tourists are drawn to the Olympics. Obviously, everybody wants to go to the Olympics. I would say the Olympics at some point would probably be on my bucket list because I think going to the Olympics would be really cool. Don't want to go during COVID. Maybe when I'm 70, I'll be able to go to the Olympics when it's here in the United States again. But going to the Olympics would be cool. Oh, this is my room in Thailand. This hotel room with this big king bed here cost me $18 a night. I think is what it was. Yeah, I think it was $18 a night. Had a refrigerator, a king size bed, a desk, a TV, a bathroom, and it was right on the beach. $18 a night. I'm pretty sure that's what it cost me. So yeah, sports tourism. The Olympics, FIFA World Cup, Grand Prix, cricket matches, because cricket is huge in Europe and Asia, actually, parts of Asia. Also many other things like, you know, the NFL Super Bowl, NFL games, baseball games, Major League Baseball, hockey. There's a ton of sports out there that could be considered sports tourism, whether you participate or you just go to watch. Number 9 on the list is Tombstone Tourism. Tombstone Tourism. I actually participated in both of those, actually. In sports tourism, I went to the NFL Pro Bowl game, as I said. Also, I went to a rugby match when I was in Canberra, Australia, which was very awesome, which I probably should have thrown that video up there. But yeah, I went to Canberra and watched Canberra play the Sydney Lions, I think they were called. Very cool game. It was very cool to see rugby live. I've always been a bit of a rugby fan. I wouldn't say I'm like a super fan, but I do love rugby and I love watching rugby. My favorite rugby team is the All Blacks in New Zealand. I really enjoy watching them play when I can watch them play. I started following them on a ton of like social media now, and actually some of them they actually show like the whole game for free. So very cool to watch, and I especially love when they come out and they do their haikus in the beginning. Number 9, Tombstone Tourism. Tombstone Tourism is a person who enjoys history of famous deaths, cemeteries, epitaphs, and gravestones. Also, rubbing the gravestones, where you put the piece of paper and you get the chalk and you go over it so that you can immortalize, I guess, that on the tombstone, or on your piece of paper, the tombstone. These tourists are usually particularly interested in the historical aspects of these places and not necessarily the death or necrophilia or anything weird like that. 99% of the people who are into tombstone tourism are into it for the historical factor. Like, oh man, this tombstone and this person died in like the 1500s, 1600s, 1700s, you know. Imagine what their life was like, or, you know, etc. It's very interesting. When I was in Barcelona, I went to a cemetery there in Barcelona, right near the beach. Had very high walls, small little cubicles where they buried people, but then they also had some very amazing mausoleums with huge angels and trumpets and just everything, family names, just elaborate marble pieces. Pretty crazy. It's all on my YouTube. You can check out my YouTube for Barcelona, and that cemetery is in there. People who are into this sort of travel, that video is still gaining some traction. I still get comments on it talking about the cemetery there. Also, when I was in Scotland and I was in Edinburgh, I went to the old cemetery there near the Edinburgh Castle, and I mean, you're talking gravestones from 14, 15, 1600s, and just absolutely mind-blowing to see these things that have stayed there through military attacks, bombings in World War II, and they're all still there. It's pretty awesome. Also, everybody knows Morrison from The Doors. I actually went and saw Morrison's grave in Paris. It's constantly filled with mementos and flowers, and it's actually blocked off now, but some people jump over and put stuff on his grave. But that is also on my YouTube and also Facebook, etc. That video of me visiting Jim Morrison's tomb, or gravesite, I should say. He doesn't have a tomb. Now, I will say, when I was there, that was 2017. That was when I met Yoshi walking the Camino. I know that the lease that he had on that site was going to be up soon. And I don't think that they were going to renew the lease, which means then that whoever is the caretaker of Jim Morrison's estate, if someone's still alive, would have to then exhume his body and find a new resting place for his body. Morrison was originally from the United States. He caught a bunch of crap here illegally from his concerts and all kinds of stuff. And he was basically like F America and got buried in Paris. And now Paris is about to F him again. So anyway, Tombstone Tourism. Very cool. Number 8 is war tourism. Yes, war tourism. War tourism. You did. You did. War tourism. Basically, this involves traveling to war zones. These tourists get an adrenaline rush in traveling to dangerous and forbidden places that are currently at war. Some of the top war tourism destinations are like Baghdad, Syria. I know Baghdad, the war is sort of over, but it's still one of those sort of, you go there and you just kind of feel it. Also in Syria, Mogadishu. I don't know if you guys remember back in, like, I don't know, 1993, 94, somewhere around there, right towards the end of, there's the tsunami memorial. That's the tsunami memorial in Kamala Beach that I was talking about over on Instagram. But that's it right behind me there. Anyway, I forget. Back in like 92, 93, somewhere around there, was where we had U.S. military forces in Mogadishu, in Somalia. And things went down, man, and things went south, and things went wrong, and our guys got stuck in the city, and a couple Black Hawks went down, and they actually made a movie about it called Black Hawk Down. Now, I know a lot of veterans dislike that movie because of the way it portrayed the special operations forces that showed up there trying to save the Marines and the infantry, Army infantry, because they said they portrayed them differently, etc., whatever. But to me, overall, the picture was a very good movie. So, yeah, me too. I really enjoyed that too, the movie. But anyway, so Mogadishu, that's why it's on the list. And it's one of those places, really, honestly, like these places, when it comes to war tourism and you traveling there, just know the risks that you're taking And I think that's the adrenaline draw and the adrenaline rush for those people who like to travel that way. I mean, you're teetering on the edge of death and survival, literally. And trust me, if you're in the middle of that, especially like in Mogadishu or Somalia or Baghdad or any of those places like that, there's no mercy for you, especially for a person from the United States. There's no mercy. So you go there, you're on your own. Like, no you can't run to a U.S. embassy. You can't try to, negotiate your way out. No, it's not going to happen. So you go there, it's like final destination, or you come home. That's what it boils down to into when you talk about war tourism. Another one is number 7 is the agritourism, agricultural tourism. Agricultural tourism is pretty cool. It's something that I wouldn't mind doing just so that I could learn something. And that's the point of it, is to help people understand how to grow food organically or how to farm organically, whether it's on small levels or bigger levels. And that's basically what people do with agritourism. This tourism mostly involves farming. It gives travelers an opportunity to experience rural life, taste the local food, and get familiar with various farming techniques. So it's a bit of a learning experience for farming. So if you have aspirations of having your own farm one day and living off the grid, or buying a couple acres of land somewhere and just disappearing off the face of the earth and doing your thing and whatever, then that's probably the type of tourism for you, because it's going to teach you and show you like how to do the farming and things that you might be interested in, like hydroponics or soil farming, or there's I think it's called like natural farming or something, where you don't weed the garden or anything, just everything sort of grows together. But you can also plant edible weeds like dandelions and things like that within the garden that you can still eat and use. I mean, they make dandelion salad, dandelion wine, many different things. So there's so many different ways. Now, I talked about over on Instagram, one of the ways is called WOOF. I believe it's WOOF, I think, but it's like the World Organization of Farming or something like that. But basically you sign up. I paid like $20 or something, $25 or whatever to get vetted. If you're vetted, then you get selected faster. But basically, you get accepted by one of these wolf farms, and you have to work a minimum of 20 hours a week. And then if you do that, they provide you free room and board, food from the farm, free stays, and then your downtime or your free time, then you could go out and explore. So it's a way for someone who doesn't have a lot of money to be able to explore the world without spending a lot of money. Because you're basically exchanging your time for room and board. And not only that, but they're teaching you how to organically farm. 99.9% of these things on Woof, if not all of them, are all organic farms. So you won't see like fertilizer and all that stuff. You might see a dead fish buried underneath a seed. And that dead fish is going to provide all the nutrients and nitrogen and everything for that plant to grow. A small dead fish is just as good as a handful of fertilizer, and it's a heck of a lot more healthy for you. But there's it would be very cool to do some agritourism, at least for me anyway, and do the Woof, because then you can explore the local areas and the rural areas. Number 6 on the list is atomic tourism. right, I'm almost done with this cookie crack crap. Atomic tourism. This atomic travel involves the tourists learn about the atomic age by traveling to museums with atomic weapons, missile silos, and more. Even includes blast sites and meltdown sites like Chernobyl. We even had a meltdown here in the United States, if you guys don't remember, when I was a kid in the 80s. 3 Mile Island melted down on us. Not as bad, nowhere near as bad as Chernobyl in the Soviet Union at the time, but now in Ukraine, obviously. But atomic tourism, it also includes touring atomic blast sites. So like Hiroshima, Nagasaki, other places like that. Well, those are the only 2 places that an atomic bomb was actually used, which now we don't have atomic, we have nuclear. But there's a lot of test sites that you can go see. And as I was saying over on Instagram, there's this guy on Netflix that I've been following and watching. He's called The Dark Tourist. And he actually went to an atomic lake at an old blast site that is now, I forget the country, but it used to be part of, this country used to be part of the Soviet Union. And this was where the Soviet Union tested their very first atomic bomb back in like the 1950s or something. The crater that it created over time has been filled with water, so it created a lake. Now, the locals there are saying that it is safe to swim on the top of the lake to about the middle depth. But don't go any lower than that because you could catch some radiation poisoning. Well, what does this dark tourist guy do? He goes swimming in the lake with his friend. And he's scared, but I'm like, I would be too, because I didn't know that radiation would necessarily stay at a certain level in a lake. I just assumed the whole lake. But there were locals there swimming and floating on rafts, and they were even fishing. The locals were fishing, and the locals even invited them to have some fresh fish with them. And he's like, I don't know if I want to fish with a third eye. It was just funny. But anyway, so that's a bit of dark tourism, atomic tourism. You know, it's a risk. And I think that's the adrenaline aspect. I think that's the adrenaline aspect of that type of tourism, is that you go there knowing that some sort of crazy catastrophe happened here, and that there is a small chance that you may catch some sort of radiation poisoning. I don't know, it's a thrill, but some people do it. Now, this one is one that I did a lot of. And one that I highly recommend that you all do, and that is cultural tourism. Cultural tourism. That was my main reason for traveling, was to experience the culture, the people, the customs. How do they do things? What types of food do they make? I mean, everything, all encompassing. That is cultural travel, and that, to me, is the most educational travel that you could ever imagine, that would increase your knowledge on the world today. It expands your mind beyond what you would have had in your local country, local city, local town, local village, whatever, that you never leave. I have friends of mine that are like that. Friends of mine have been, that I went to school with, still live in the same town, have pretty much the same friends who have stayed in the same town, and their kids have gone to school with their friends' kids. And some of the people that I went to school with are teaching at the school that I went to. And they're teaching kids of kids that they went. It's just like, oh my God, get out and experience life. Don't just stay in your small little town or village. Like, come on. Oh. And then what blows me away is when these people want to talk about world issues. What do you know about world issues? You know nothing. You've stayed in a village or a town, a population of like 20,000 people or less, and you want to talk about world issues? Come on. Anyway, yeah, cultural tourism is where it is. This is where tourists engage in the country's culture and religious culture, especially the lifestyle and other elements that shape the life of the people of that country that you're visiting. It's important, for one, to travel with an open mind. It's important, too, to show respect and love and caring for that country that you're traveling to, for their people and their customs. And that's one thing I noticed, I will say, when I was traveling, that there are a few cultures that I'm not going to call out. I know Yoshi and I talked about this while we were walking the Camino together, but I'll call out my country, America, the United States. I hate saying America because there's South America, Central America, and North America. So I'll just say the States. But while I was traveling, I saw many people from the United States traveling. And I'll be honest with you guys, no BS. 80% of them had no clue. No clue. They acted like they were still in the United States. And you can't do that when you leave the country. You cannot do that. That's disrespectful. You're in someone else's country with different customs, etc. You need to respect their customs, just like most Americans expect foreigners to respect our customs. You should do the same for them. And another thing, if you go to travel to a foreign country, at least learn or research basic history and simple greetings in that country's language, so that you can say hello, goodbye, please, thank you, stuff like that, because it goes a long way. Trust me, it goes a long way. I'll give you guys an example. I've heard about this Italian man. He's not winemaking. Oh, winemaking. Ooh, dandelion wine. Oh, cuz you make dandelion wine over here. Nice. I've had dandelion wine once, I think. Anyway, I got sidetracked. I can't remember what I was talking about, but at any rate, respect others' cultures. Oh, I just realized that was a duck salad that I got when I was in Thailand. In Kamala Beach. That's another kiwi smoothie I got. And then this is duck. It was a smoked duck salad. And it was very good. It was very good. But yeah, cultural tourism. Some of the best places for cultural tourism is Thailand. Absolutely. Oh my God. I absolutely love the culture in Thailand. I will go back to Thailand one of these days. I guarantee it, at some point. And I may get lost there for a while. Because Thailand and its people are just absolutely wonderful. And the food is amazing. Thailand, South Africa, another place that I could get lost in. South Africa is absolutely beautiful. Greece If you can meet up with local people in Greece, I highly recommend doing it and trying to eat some local food. Like, just go get lost in a old Greek village somewhere in the middle of nowhere. If you're in Athens, take a bus like 4 miles north, or 4 hours north, or 3 hours north to Thessaloniki and experience some amazing local flavor, culture, and food. My good friend Jimmy has a house in Drama. He lives here in the United States, but he also lives in Drama, Greece for like 5 months out of the year. He's originally from there. That's his small village, but Drama is a beautiful little village with amazing people. Get out and enjoy those areas. And you'll pay a lot less too if you travel to those areas. Go do the touristy thing like I did. I was in Athens for like 4 days. Go do the Acropolis and go do all the temples and everything and the Zeus and all that stuff. Go do all that stuff and then leave from there after like 3 days and just find some random village somewhere and then you can find a place to stay and go there and enjoy the local culture and customs, because you definitely won't regret it. And India and Nepal, I talked about over on Instagram. India and Nepal is definitely places that I absolutely need to go to. That is definitely on my bucket list. And it's so inexpensive. I mean, you could go over to India for like $5,000 and probably stay over there for 8-10 months. Easy. It's so inexpensive. On the US dollar, the euro especially, or the pound even more especially. Basically the top 3 currencies in the world, the US dollar, the euro, and the pound. Those are the top 3 dogs. If you live in any one of those countries that has any one of those currencies, you can travel the world for a decent price, a decent expense. All right, number 4 on the list is disaster tourism. So, disaster tourism, or AKA dark tourism, this tourism includes visiting environmental disasters, either natural or man-made. So basically, some of these sites are like Pompeii. I was in Pompeii. Absolutely stunning. I got lost in Pompeii for 4 or 5 hours. I think they literally had to throw me out of that place after the fact. I could have gotten lost in Pompeii for days. You're literally walking an entire city, Pompeii, during the Roman period in 79 AD. Was when Mount Vesuvius, the volcano in Italy, in Pompeii, near Pompeii. Mount Vesuvius is between Naples or Napoli and Pompeii. The city of Pompeii was covered in lava and ash from the eruption of Mount Vesuvius. Oh man, excuse me. Oh, sneezing. Ugh. Must need more beer. Alright, that one's down. We're going to try Mad Brews here. So I went and visited Pompeii, and Pompeii was amazing. That's definitely one of the places. Kamala Beach, Thailand, which I showed you guys up there with the tsunami memorial. When the tsunami hit, I think it was like 2011, 2012, somewhere around there. The tsunami actually hit Kamala Beach, and many people died. There was a lot of damage. I was there 4 or 5 years later, but I absolutely love Kamala, and that's Thailand. I would love to live in Thailand, just stay in Thailand, just zen out and just, I don't know, become a Buddhist, smoke a bunch of weed, and just zen out the rest of my life till I die. And maybe open a craft beer bar in Kamala Beach. How cool would that be? Hey, Mad Brews, there you go. Let's open a craft beer bar in Kamala Beach, Thailand. You can brew all your beer there. Or if I come into an influx of cash or get my TV show, I'll open a craft beer bar there. You guys brew all your beer there. It'll be the first ever craft beer bar, craft beer pub in Kamala Beach, Thailand, or in Thailand, probably. How cool would that be? All right, let's try Mad Brews. Anyway, yeah, Pompeii, Flight 93. Flight 93 is another one. I went to the Flight 93 Memorial in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. And the Flight 93 Memorial is, as I said over on Instagram, I mean, just spine tingling. It's just, I physically watched 9/11 happen. So for me, it meant even more. You could see where the plane crashed. You could see sections of the plane that are saved in the museum, what it looked like. You can hear the calls for all the guys that said, let's roll. You could pick up phones. I talked about this over on Instagram. They actually have seats attached to the wall that were on the plane that have char marks and everything. You could pick up one of those phones from the back of the seat and actually listen to those people on that flight that called home and left messages on answer machines and so forth. All of those are provided there. Yeah, it's just mind-numbing. I'm just gonna throw this out there. Us millennials, anyone else on here is a millennial. Millennials are from 1968, I think, through 1988 or something, or 87. I just forget what the parameter is. But if you're a millennial like myself, congratulations, you're a badass. I'm just saying, you're a badass, because if you think about it, us millennials have been through so much crap from the time we were born that it's insane. And we were probably, as I made a post on my personal Facebook page the other day, we were probably one of the last greatest generations to be born, because we had the benefit of having parents who probably fought in World War II or Korea. We were taught a different way of doing things. Most of us went out and discovered how to fix things. We discovered Earth. We discovered nature. We discovered pain because we inflicted it on ourselves half the time because we were stupid, and that's how we learned. I can't even name off half the stupid things I did when I was younger, but I learned. I enjoyed going outside and playing. I enjoyed climbing trees. I enjoyed, we went through the Cold War. anyone who is a millennial on here, we actually had to go through drills, like nuclear bomb drills, nuclear missile drills, when we were in the Cold War with Russia. We had to hide underneath the desks like that was going to protect us from nuclear war. But we went through these drills. Most of us probably had our first beer or shot of liquor by the time we were like 6 or 8. My mom drank a beer a day with me because the doctor said it was great for the iron and the whatever else. So it's probably why I like beer so much today. We were literally the last great generation, I feel. Maybe Generation X, because they were right on that cusp. Maybe early Generation X. Or I mean millennials. Sorry, we're Generation X. Gen X. Millennials is what I meant. Maybe early millennials, you know, like that late 80s, early 90s kind of millennial might be around the same, you know, level of us. Not to knock on any other generation, but we were gritty, man. We weren't afraid to get hurt. We had a high pain tolerance. Whenever you're swinging around on that thing at the playground and then you fly off, you fly into the freaking monkey bars and you're like, oh, and you got a knot and a laceration this long on your arm, bleeding to death. What did we do? We took our shirt off, wrapped it around our arm, and went back to doing whatever we were doing. Anyway, enough about that. I could go on about that forever, but disaster tourism was the main reason for that. All right, let's try this Mad Brews, and then I got 3 more to go. Gen X, yeah. We were Gen X, and then after us came the millennials. And I'll be honest, like, millennials is from, like, I think millennials is still in the 80s. I think millennials are from, like, 88 or 89 to, I don't know, what, 2000 or 1999 or 19 whatever. I think it's 10 years of generation. Brian, why you gotta be retracting a message twice? All right, let's try this Mad Brews. Mad Brews. And then we got 3 more to go, and then we're done. The nose is pleasant. Almost floral. I don't know why, because I don't expect this beer to be floral. But yeah, it's almost floral. Why is that? Peppery. It's peppery beer. Alright. Oh wow. That's solid. That's wow, there's some flavors in there that I can't quite. All right, Mad Brews, give us a rundown of this beer, because the rundown you gave me is like lost. I know you said a monk mowing the lawn, but yeah, it's not. It's like it's a dark beer, but it's not like super dark. Well, I know a double or double, however you want to say it, is a dark beer. Oh, this is when I walked around Lake Jackson here in town. It was a 10-mile walk. I completed it in about just over 2 hours, I think. Yeah, it's a decent beer. I can't decipher some of the flavors, but it's like a little sweet. a little florally, like it has like, I don't know why, but it has like a, I mean, it's not like I ate a chrysanthemum or anything. I know that's a big word for you guys, right? Chrysanthemum or any other edible flower. But it's like, I don't know how to explain it. Earthy? It's a mixture of kitty syrup. Kitties? Come on now. You guys, don't mess with me. Kitty syrup that is used to make a Trappist style beer. And he hops chosen? He hops chosen? Who hops chosen? Who is he and why does he hop chosen? I just want to know. Some of you guys right now are going, what the hell did you just say? If you read Brian's comment, it says it's a mixture of kitty syrup that is used to make Trappist style beer. And then it says, and he hops chosen. So generally I'm going to ask the question, who is he and why is he hopping chosen? And chosen's a pretty cool name. Like, if I could have a kid now, chosen would be a pretty cool name. Brian says, and the hops. Oh, and the hops chosen? Gotcha. You know I had to give you crap, bro. Alright. Oh, I scored every other beer. I'm pretty sure. Alright, let's do, alright, here's what I'm going to do. I got to pour Mad Brews in my left-hand Mad Brews tap puller cup. So I'll pour the other one out into the other one. Got to rinse all this other one out of here. .644 already, my goodness. Alright. Let's get this done. Got about 6 minutes left. Alright, here we go. Hard pour on the tap by Mad Brews. Look at that nice frothy beer head there. Got a little bit of an amber color, dark amber color, almost purple. The nose on the hard pour is very nice. I'll be honest with you guys. Yeah, it's very nice. Like I don't get the floral like I got. Yeah. This is more like a sweet sort of smell on the nose. Sweet and kind of boozy. Like I get that astringent sort of alcohol flavor, but the Richter scale is like 7.6. That booziness I'm getting, you would think it would be like 9 or above. But it still smells good on the nose. King syrup and hops, what is giving you that floral earthy note? Okay, cool. Alright, candy syrup. Yeah, candy syrup and hops. Makes sense. Because then you're going to get that sweet sort of floral flavor, depending on the hops you used. I think I enjoy this beer. It's got like a lot of flavors going on. You get the sort of astringent booziness, which I think I just right on point for a Trappist or a Trappist. The boozy you're talking about is from the dark malt. Oh, okay. So the dark malt gives it booziness, and not just the Richter scale. Honestly, I have had a couple Trappist beers. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mad Brews, but a lot of the Trappist beers are mostly like European, maybe Eastern European, like Poland and places like that, like Eastern European. It's I get the candy syrup part because I feel like in the Trappist they have that sweetness, which you guys have in this as well, and other Trappist that I've had. I'm not a huge Trappist fan. I don't know what it is. It's just like but I do enjoy them. I'm just not like I gotta have a Trappist. I have tried a few other Trappists on the show from European breweries. I can't remember the name of the brewery, but their Trappist was okay, but the rest of their beer sucked. So there's one order of monks in the States that have been given rights to do Trappist, but typically it's a European thing. Okay, that's what I thought. Because most of the Trappists that I've had have all been European. But that's cool that there's an order of monks here in the United States. Where is that in the United States that they can make a Trappist? Because if it's anywhere close, I may make a road trip and go get some Trappist. And you guys may have to meet me. Or I do a live there. But yeah, I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad. Yeah, that floral though is like that. Just the nose, just like it takes you back because it's almost. How do I describe this? It's so weird that the hops is giving off that much floral nose because it's literally like that. Like I walked into a flower shop and you get that rush of fresh cut flowers. That's like, so kind of the nose kind of like throws you off from what you're going to taste. I assume that the beer is supposed to do that. Yeah, but I mean, it's good. It's just some really bizarre flavors. I don't know if everybody will enjoy something like this. I like it. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I like it. It's different. It's not like the usual, sort of thing. But I'm gonna go with an 8.5. 8.5, because I feel like. I mean, now that you explain like the floral, I think everything sort of flows together. For someone who enjoys beer, is into beer, or whatever, I think will enjoy this beer. One or two of them, with a meal. Trappist. I don't know that the average person is going to enjoy that, but 8.5. I'll give you 8.5. So I'm gonna finish yours first. I gotta knock this out the park real quick. All right, number 3 on the list. It's up in Massachusetts. All right, Mad Brews road trip to Massachusetts. I mean, Massachusetts. Number 3 on the list is marijuana tourism. Yes, marijuana tourism is gaining a lot of traction. Not only around the world, as my friend Yoshi told me over on Instagram, that they have now recreationally legalized marijuana in Germany as a whole. Here in the United States, even though we have something like 35, 40 states that have legalized some version of marijuana in the United States, whether it be medical or recreational, or you have the Delta 8, Delta 0, Delta 10, I think. Those are all versions of THC. It's just that the way those states get around the medical marijuana laws is that they extract the THC from the hemp, because the hemp is legal. There's no regulations on hemp. And hemp, which is basically the body of the plant, the leaf of the plant, still carries like 0.3% THC. So there are companies out there that are extracting that THC from the hemp and concentrating it and then creating a legal version of THC that you can buy over the counter. So it's still THC and it's legal. It's just a different molecule of THC. So the regular THC, aka marijuana, Mary Jane, whatever you want to call it, is Delta 9 THC. That is the actual molecule that is the real THC, real THC, but the THC from the bud of the plant, which is most concentrated. I'm just going to shut that off. But anyway, marijuana tourism is gaining a huge following. Mad Brews is brewing with sativa hops today. Sativa hops, like real sativa, or you guys are in Virginia, and Virginia is rec weed, so y'all should be brewing some weed beer. I'm just saying. Virginia is rec weed. When I say rec weed, it's recreational weed. You can just go into a weed store and buy weed whenever you want. Here in Florida, we have medical weed, not rec weed yet, which I don't understand, because recreational marijuana here in Florida with our tourism would absolutely explode, and bring a ton of money into this state. Probably even more so than Colorado. It would be mind-blowing. But anyway, marijuana tourism, with legalization in many states in the United States, this tourism has gained even more traction. These tourists want to experience chill atmospheres, try new inventive strains, and even culinary creations, food used with weed, in conjunction with weed. There's a few shows like on Netflix that they're like weed cooking shows. I forget. Oh, one's called Bong Appetit, I believe. Bong Appetit, BONGAP, whatever, Appetit. Appetite, Bong Appetite. But anyway, that's one of them. There's several other ones out there. So what they do is they basically have like professional weed chefs that use different strains of weed, different variations of weed, whether it's crystals, terpenes, concentrate, flower, whatever. They use these aspects of marijuana while cooking food, and it could be a smoked brisket, it could be tacos, and they add, say terpene oils to the guacamole, or they infuse the meat with certain terpenes or crystals or whatever when they smoke it. So there's variations, but very cool show, very cool sort of educational experience as far as like eating culinary or having a culinary experience with weed. And so a lot of people seek that out. So there are a lot of resorts now that are opening up in, say, Colorado and California, mostly because they are rec weed. Colorado was the first state to break the barrier and create, free recreational weed. And they have been killing it ever since. Like, Colorado is the mecca of weed here in the United States. By far. California's trying to catch up, but Colorado had a long head start. Let's see. What else on here? Live now. Hey, look at that. It says live now. Now, if I click on this, what's it going to do? I'm curious. Does this say Backpacker Mike signed into your live? That'd be funny if it did. New pin chat. Got it. You can pin a message to the top of your chat. Ah, how cool is that? Got it. Hey, I can see all the everything on there. How about that? Look at that, that pops up. Hey, I love you all. Very cool. I know the hop, but hops are very close cousin to the good stuff. Oh, yeah, I know that. Trust me. Some hops even look like the good stuff. I'm waiting for somebody to do a hop strain with some form of Mary Jane. Like, what if you grafted a hop strain with the Mary Jane strain? Like, preferably, probably sativa, because if you drink a beer, you don't want to go to sleep. Although I will say, a beer is already a downer. It's already a downer. So if you throw sativa in there, you might not fall asleep quite as fast. But anyway, yeah. Some of the best places, I said, Colorado, California, Amsterdam, India, and Nepal to enjoy your weed experience. I definitely want to go to India and Nepal. Those are definitely on my bucket list. They make marijuana lassies. I want to have a marijuana lassie really bad. So I don't know if you guys know, but in India they do lassies, which is made with like plain yogurt. Whatever flavor you want. They mash up marijuana in there and various other things, cardamom, cinnamon, nutmeg, things like that. They smash it all up in this bowl. They blend it all together, and then you drink it. And basically, the oils and things within the weed, spread throughout this sort of lassi drink that they make. And it's basically like an infused sort of drink, or like an edible that you can drink. But very cool. I definitely want to go there and check that out. And I definitely want to go to, Colorado or California. And I'm not a big resort guy or anything, but I would be very interested in staying in a weed resort for, I don't know, say a week, 3 days to a week. We'll just put it that way. I may not remember the week by the time I leave, but man, what an amazing time. Like Mike Tyson, one of the famous world heavyweight champions in the United States for boxing. He is in the process or has just opened a weed resort in Colorado. And I like that too because I see it down here as well. Love you bunches back too, Kim. Love you too, cuz. Love you too, Kathy. Like everybody. Oh, you guys are so sweet. You guys are so sweet. I love you too. Yeah, Kim, absolutely. Colorado is a must. But anyway, another place is Amsterdam, as I talked about before. And I sort of did this marijuana tourism when I was in Amsterdam because growing up as a kid, Amsterdam was like the very first place on earth to ever sort of legalize weed. And so, the thing was go to Amsterdam and try weed. That was like the only place that you could even think about sort of visiting. When I was in Amsterdam for like 4 days, 3 nights, I decided to stop at a coffee shop. That's what they're called. The weed shops are not called weed shops. They're called coffee shops, where you could go get a coffee or a tea and some weed. So I know I've told this story before on Instagram and Facebook, but I have not told it on YouTube. Most of you guys on here now have probably heard the story, but basically I went to Amsterdam, decided to go into a coffee shop. I got the lowest weed on the scale because the guy was like, how high do you want to get? Do you want to get mind blowing or you just want to like chill on a beach? I'm like, yeah, I'll take the chill on the beach weed. Like, I just want to chill. Well, they have these little theme rooms that you go into, and the one that I went into had a little rock waterfall on the wall. I had a little horseshoe sort of bench, a little table in there. I got enough for like one spliff, and then I decided it was kind of chilly out. I was like, when I was there, it was like sleet. Almost, so it was kind of chilly out. Man, I had my jacket on, skull cap, everything. I mean, it was a bit chilly. So when I went in there, I told him, I said, I'll take this. And I said, oh, I see you guys have tea and coffee too. So I said, I've already had coffee, so I'll just take a mint tea. Well, I wondered why the mint tea cost more than the spliff I bought. The spliff I bought was, I think, like €4 or €5, which is like nothing for a spliff. And when I say a spliff, I mean this thing was like, it's like a blunt spliff. But yeah, so I went in, I took like 4, 5, 6 hits off of that, and then I started drinking the tea, the mint tea, which I didn't realize until later that was probably infused mint tea. So therefore I had like 4 or 5 hits off of a spliff, and then I drank an entire metal, sort of carafe of infused mint tea. So therefore I felt the heat coming from my ankles, man. Then the sweat rolling down my face, and then I just passed out. I woke up, I looked out the room I was in, because it didn't have a door on it. I looked out the room I was in, and there was these 2 kids over there, and the one was just like flicking the lighter and looking at it. I'm like, oh, he's high. And I'm like, I'm pretty high right now. But anyway, I left the smoke shop, went to a pizza place, ate an entire large pizza, which over there is fairly easy to do, to be honest with you. For whatever reason, when you eat pizza in Europe as opposed to pizza in the United States, the pizza in Europe does not fill you up as much as pizza here in the States. And I don't know why. I don't know what it is or what causes that. But literally, like in Napoli, in Italy, Naples, I say Napoli because I'm traveled, Napoli, and even like Slovakia when I was there, or Croatia, when I got pizza, I could literally eat like a large pizza and feel comfortably full. But here in the United States, you eat a whole large pizza, you're going to feel bloated and crappy. I don't know why. I don't know what the difference is. If any of you guys know, drop it in the comments at some point. But no, you're the best, cuz. You're the best, cuz. I'm assuming cuz has to go. But anyway, yeah. Marijuana tourism. Amsterdam. Colorado. I gotta make a trip to Colorado. So, eventually. Someday. Number 2 on the list, and I'm almost done. I know I'm over. How far over is the question. It is 7:07, and Dad goes to bed at 7:40, so I gotta hurry up. Thought I heard something. Oh. No, that's not that either. I thought maybe. Oh. All right, number 2 on the list is Genealogy Tourism, and I swear I hear somebody talking. Genealogy Tourism, I have actually done that a few times. So genealogy tourism, this involves tourists traveling to their ancestral homelands, seeking out their roots and walking in their forefathers' footsteps of their family, or the footsteps of their family. Maybe even meeting long lost relatives and reconnecting to them and keeping in touch with them. I know that my family, actually, on my mother's side, well, 2 things. On my mother's side is where I'm related to William Wallace. My mother's maiden name was Wallace. Her father's name was Wallace. My mom's sister traced it back to William Wallace, and then when she figured out that we related to William Wallace, she got us the Braveheart video and the Brave on VHS. That's how old it is. The Braveheart video on VHS and the Braveheart book from the movie. So for me, in 2016, one of my goals is to stand on top of the monument that was dedicated to my relative, William Wallace, and to explore Stirling, which is where my family member, William Wallace, actually had the first greatest battle against King Edward, I believe it was, of England, and he actually won. William Wallace was a very strategic leader because he knew that the English army and all of their might had to cross one small bridge called the Stirling Bridge to get across the raging river to attack the Scottish clansmen on the other side. So William Wallace set up dynamite, the equivalent of dynamite, which was basically like old wine casks of saltpeter and whatever. But they waited until the entire cavalry of the English army was on the Stirling Bridge, and they blew it up. Well, the cavalry and the knights that were on the bridge had armor on. Now, I stood next to this raging river there going through Stirling. I mean, this river was probably flowing at like 30 miles an hour, no lie. I mean, just whirlpools, and I mean, it was flowing. So if you're a knight and you have armor on, and most of the knights required a steward or whatever to dress them. There was no way they were going to get that armor off underwater. So guess what? The horses had armor, the knights had armor, they drowned. Not only that, but if they got crossed the river, there was a very muddy section there that William Wallace created, basically, through buckets of water from the river, etc., etc., etc. The horses, if they got across the river, got stuck in the mud, which then eliminated the cavalry. Long story short, William Wallace defeated the great English army and cavalry at Stirling Bridge. Now, I will say that when you go to Stirling and you go to see the bridge, that bridge that is there is not the original bridge. The original bridge was made out of wood. This bridge is made out of stone. It is not the original bridge. The original Stirling Bridge and the original battle that happened at Stirling Bridge actually happened about 60 to 100 yards down the river in the Stirling Rugby pitch. So where the Stirling Rugby team plays, or not plays, but practices on their practice pitch, is where the Battle of Stirling actually took place. So the bridge, unfortunately, if you go there, the Stirling Bridge that is located there is a replica, or not even a replica, but it's not the actual bridge that they fought on. But Genealogy Tourism, to go back to it, Genealogy Tourism is very cool. I will tell you that standing there, even though the monument was dedicated in like 1888, 1889, something like that, long after my relative and my distant relative William Wallace was alive. He was alive in like 1221 or something. So we're talking like 600 years later, plus 650 years later, or whatever. This monument was dedicated to him, so he never saw the monument. But anyway, he was quartered and he was placed on every corner of the European Empire, or the English Empire at the time. Man. Anyway. But yeah, Genealogy Tourism. I suggest that you do it. Go look up your heritage. Find out where you're from. Find out information about it. You may never know. I mean, I'm related to Sitting Bull, the leader of the Lakota Nation. My great-great-grandmother was actually a descendant and a granddaughter to, I guess it would be a granddaughter to Red Bull, sorry. Not Sitting Bull, but Red Bull. Sitting Bull was Cherokee. Red Bull was, I think it was Red Bull. Was that Red Bull? Sitting Bull was Cherokee. I can't remember, but either way, I'm related. So, my heritage is basically American Indian, Irish, and Scottish, along with a bunch of other stuff mixed in between. The rest of it is all mutt. But there you have it. And my cousin's on here, and she's got my dad's side of stuff, which is, I don't think there's Indian on, but no, there is Indian on my dad's side. I forgot. So there's got to be Indian on my dad's side, because my great grandmother's name was Little Beaver, or AKA Lily Beaver, and she married my great grandfather Emil, who was off the boat from Ireland. Yeah, Sharon, for sure, it would be fun. All right, number one on the list, and then we are done. Done. That is militarism, heritage, tourism. Basically, it's traveling, military historical sites, to put it in the most simplest form. D-Day landing sites, for instance. I traveled to D-Day landing sites. I traveled every single one of those D-Day landing sites. From Sword Beach all the way down to Utah. I think it was the last one. Very interesting, very cool, very spine-tingling. When I was on Omaha and I was on Utah, especially with our U.S. soldiers, being there, and I walked out and I dug my hand into the sand, and there's a picture that I took of my left hand out with a pile of sand on it from Utah beach. And in that, I was like, I'm literally grasping particles of sand that thousands of our American soldiers died on, trying to liberate France. And to look out across the channel, the English Channel, and think about all of those PT boats coming in, battleships offshore, everything. Hot air balloons, Air Force, everything was just mind-numbing to me, because I thought, man, here I am, I don't know, what, 70 years, 80 years later, whatever it is, 70 years later. It happened June 6th, so it's coming up next year, I think. June 6th or June 7th. I think it's June 6th. 1944. So, wow. Mind-blowing. One of the best movies of all time for the D-Day landing was Saving Private Ryan. If you have not watched Saving Private Ryan yet, you have to watch Saving Private Ryan. I mean, absolutely stunning movie. Stunning movie, especially the initial 30 to 40 minutes of the D-Day landing. That is reality. And there was a ton of D-Day landing survivors and veterans that agreed that that was probably the best movie ever that depicted the D-Day landings ever. And these were guys who landed on that beach. So if you have not seen the movie yet and you're into that sort of history, by all means, please watch it. It's on Netflix right now. If you have Netflix, you can go to Netflix and type in Private Ryan, Saving Private Ryan, it'll pop up. Absolutely have to watch that. The filming techniques were freaking amazing. It was almost like you were in the PT boat with them. The P-130, I think it was called. In that movie, in Full Metal Jacket, since we're talking about genealogy tourism and me talking about hitting every D-Day landing site, I think it was Sword Beach, which is the northernmost beach. That was liberated by the Canadians, I believe. The Canadians and the British, I think. Maybe Canadians and French and British, but it was one of the two. I know for sure the very first civilian house liberated in France was a house on Sword Beach, and it was liberated by Canadians. And outside of that house, they have a ton of little crosses and Canadian flags and so forth still to this day, and listings of the military personnel, Canadian military personnel that were lost in that landing on posts outside the house. And the house is, as far as I know, the house is still occupied by a private owner. So very cool. I mean, the D-Day landing was one of the greatest battles in history. If we had failed on that, there's no telling where we would be now. But anyway, a type of tourism. This is militarism is basically a type of tourism where people visit the military, former military sites and museums and popular areas in Europe. Basically, like popular areas in Europe for this type of tourism would be World War I and World War II sites. A lot of places in Europe. Poland, France, Germany. I've been to the Reichstag building. I've been to the former Nazi administration buildings when I was in Berlin. I actually walked through the Berlin Gate. That was actually created by, I think, Napoleon when he took over Germany from France back in the day and defeated the Prussians and all that stuff. Napoleon was a bit of a badass too for how small he was. Napoleon was only like 5'2" or 5'5", and he took over half the world. He was probably the last great empire. Had he stopped and not continued to go, France would be larger than what it is today. Just to be honest. And that wasn't that long ago. I mean, we're talking 1800s. Late 17, early 1800s. I think was Napoleon. Ed, what's up? Hey. Yeah, Sharon, it's a great movie. Oh yeah, Kathy, by far. All of these forms of travel can be done in your local country. You don't have to travel to another country to do that. You know, like Tombstone Tour. Here in the United States, we have 1500s and up for cemeteries. 1500s and up. All the old Indian heritage, which unfortunately the Indians didn't really have like a written sort of history. They didn't, so it's a bit difficult to kind of learn a lot of details about certain Indian tribes. I mean, obviously the ones that fought with or interacted with a lot with the United States, the colonies, or France. So, for those of you who don't know, outside of the United States, there was a point in time where really only the United States was like the East Coast. And that was about it. Because from New Orleans all the way up the entire middle part of the country to Portland, Oregon, was all French. And then Thomas Jefferson bought that in the Louisiana Purchase. That whole entire swath of country, from Louisiana up through the Mississippi, all the way to Washington, was all called Louisiana Territory by the French. The other half southwest of that was all Mexican territory. That was all Mexico. So really, the early United States was the eastern coast out to we'll just say Missouri and north to North Dakota. That was all of the United States. So had we not made that key purchase of Louisiana Purchase, or made concessions with Mexico during the Spanish-American War or the Mexican War, the United States would not be what it is today. Mexico could very well own most of California, Texas, Arizona, Nevada. That could all be Mexico now. Pretty crazy. But yeah. Anyway, so that's it. While I was traveling, when it comes to militarism, I traveled every D-Day landing site. I traveled Holocaust locations like Auschwitz 1 and 2, which was spine-tingling, amazing, goosebumps, everything. I talked about it over on Instagram. I'll talk about it here on YouTube. If you guys could, please share the YouTube video for Auschwitz or the Facebook video for Auschwitz. But my Auschwitz video, I you know, if you guys follow me, you know that when I do a travel video, I'm always talking. You know, I say, hey, I'm here. Hey, how you guys going? Whatever, blah, blah, blah. Check this out. This is the history, etc. I do a narrative. But for the Auschwitz video of Auschwitz 1 and 2, I didn't even speak at all. You don't even see my face in there. Which some of you may be happy about that. I don't know. I'm just kidding. But I felt like when I got there, like I had intentions, I had notes wrote out. I'm like, I'm going to narrate this. I'm going to talk about this. Like I literally had a plan wrote out. Like I tried to do for most of the places that I traveled to. When I got to Auschwitz 1, literally, as soon as I got there and took the tour bus, I was like, this is too much. This is too much to talk about, to narrate. So I wanted to present it in a manner that, as I said over on Instagram, that if you were a Jew being transported from Poland or wherever, that you would feel as they did on their way there. So, all right, Sharon, I'm getting ready to wrap up. But anyway, real quick, check it out. It's the Auschwitz videos, and actually the Auschwitz Museum, National Auschwitz Museum, actually commented on that video and said that they appreciated the video, they loved how it was done, and they are happy that I enjoyed it. So, or that I did it. So anyway, that is it. Pops is yelling at me. We got to go. It's after 7. It's almost 7:30, so we're running super late. I see we're almost on a 2-hour live. So, all right, guys, I will catch you guys next Saturday on Pint Time with Backpacker Mike. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Please share the live. Please, share whatever you can. The videos, YouTube videos. We will grow this channel together. I appreciate, guys, all your help, all your support, and everything. And as always, peace, love, and let's continue to experience this beautiful world together. Until next Saturday, I'll catch you guys on Pint Time with Backpacker Mike. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to my YouTube, because if I grow that, then the more I will be able to do on the live, like hopefully bringing guests on the live, which I can't do now. Anyway, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and let's continue to experience this beautiful world together. I'll see you next Saturday on Pint Time with Backpacker Mike. Peace.